Hey everybody, Jay Barino here, welcome back. Playing some more Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and we're heading into the final campaign of the base game, which was Age of Kings, which is Saladin. Outraged that the Holy Land is ruled by Saracens, zealous European knights have descended upon the Middle East and carved out 4 Crusader kingdoms. A Saracen general, Saladin, rallies his troops in an attempt to drive back the invaders. In response to European vileness, the cultured Saracens have become ruthless. But will it be enough to save their homeland? In this campaign, you'll play as the Saracens. So I believe this takes place before the end of the Barbarossa campaign. So this is like leading up to the arrival of the Third Crusaders. An Arabian knight, which is strange because Saladin was not Arabian.
Egypt. A month since I entered the Holy Land. I was in a foreign land, and I was dying. I wandered the cold desert for 4 nights before the horse archers found me. I had abandoned my mount to the vultures, and my armor to the heat of day. For a night, I was not much of a threat to them. I thought these men were Turks, come to toy with their prey. But when I could distinguish the riders from the blur of the mirage, I saw that they were Saracens, the rulers of the Middle East. I had ridden to the Holy Land with the Crusaders from France and Normandy, so I was by all rights the Saracens' enemy. Yet they gave me water and a spindly horse, and led me back to their leader. And that was how I met Saladin. The paintings in Europe show Saladin as a demonic barbarian. Yet he's more chivalrous than any knight I'd met before, and prefers the palaces of Damascus to slaughtering Normans in the desert. I'd not expected hospitality from Saracens. We Normans execute any armed Arab we capture. But Saladin left me free to explore his camp. Perhaps he wants an objective observer to chronicle the prodigious bloodshed ahead. Saladin's army is heading south to Egypt to reinforce Cairo. Egypt is a tempting prize for the Crusaders. She is fabulously wealthy, yet governed by an ineffectual fool. Before my capture, I was en route to join in the Crusaders' assault on Egypt. It is a bitter irony that now I shall view the contest from the enemy camp. So it was that I found myself less than 100 miles from the Dead Sea, in the company of my enemies.
No, don't load so fast. That loading screen music sounded like a good one. A banger. Defeat the Franks west of Cairo. Not able to train additional soldiers in this mission, keep an eye on your army to ensure you do not lose too many men. Use the line of sight on your light cavalry to avoid unwanted encounters. Saladin's army is gathered in the north near the Nile in order to help the Egyptian Caliph repulse the Crusader siege of Cairo. The Frankish Crusaders have established camps in the west and in the east. The armies consist mostly of knights, men-at-arms, pikemen, and crossbowmen. Cairo, the Egyptian capital, is located in the center of the map. The city has a small garrison commanded by Mamluks. Okay. So we have some Mamluks. Camel riders. So let's check our civ bonuses because it's the first mission. We've got a micro mission, so it might not be as long as well. Camel and naval civilization. Market trade cost only 5%. That's interesting because it makes me wonder if there's also still that upgrade that reduces the commodity trading cost as well to reduce it even more. Markets cost minus 100 wood, who cares? Transport ships, I mean, the hit points is fine, but the carry capacity is nice. Galleys attack 20% faster. I mean, I'm fine with the naval boost here, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be that worthwhile overall. Archers, +1 attack versus buildings per age. That's also an interesting one, because, like, why are you making archers to hit buildings? So we get Mamluks as our unique unit. Be careful, Saladin. Don't make too many of those. Oops, they've overthrown your dynasty. Okay, Madrasa. Monks return 33% of their cost when killed. That's another kind of weird one. Zealotry, camel units, plus 30 HP. That's something we'll probably want to get. So we're going to be focusing on camel riders, it sounds like. I'm curious to hear what the Mamluks are good at. Okay, so we get Thumb Ring back. And Parthian tactics. Champions and... Okay, and we can also get heavy cavalry archers. So I assume that the +1 attack versus buildings also applies to our heavy cavalry archers because that, you know, the Parthian tactics gives them a lot more survivability. Plus champions is good. We can get up to Hussars, but we're stuck at knights, so no tier 2 or tier 3 knight line here. Heavy camel riders. We have husbandry back now as well. Siege onagers and siege rams and bombard cannons. That's cool. That's good stuff. Looks like our blacksmith's wide open for us. Don't really care about the navy stuff. Elite cannon galleons eventually. That's cool. Ships costing less and build faster is something we don't have access to, even though our galleys are better overall. Let's see. No bombard towers. No architecture. No heated shot. That kind of sucks. That was really nice to have your castles do way more damage to ships. Okay, let's keep checking. Okay, so here's the Mamluks. Okay, so what are you good at? Saracen unique camel unit with ranged melee attack, strong versus cavalry. Okay, so it's literally a camel. It has the same strengths and weaknesses as a camel rider, but they're mildly ranged. It is a ranged melee attack, and they're good versus cavalry. That's very interesting. All right, so how I'm imagining this is we make a lot of, not a lot, but we mix in Mamluks with champions and arbalisters. Mix in the onagers and the siege rams. Probably less onagers and more siege rams in this case, and we can also rely more on light cavalry and the hussars for frontline support. That's how I'm envisioning how I'm going to play this specific faction. Okay, here we are. So we've got this light cavalry. Why don't we send them out there and see what we can see?
The Holy Land is ours now, and soon Egypt will be as well.
Okay, well, you have now passed away. So let's take all my mounted units and gather them up. Oh, that's right, we've got the Mamluks here too. So you're one group, and you guys can be another group, slightly slower. Let's just go ahead and run through this map with my mounted units in front. Having the Scorpions, I guess, is nice, but I don't really care much about Scorpions. I've never actually built any Scorpions, I don't think. So we just have to defeat the West Franks, but we're aware of an Eastern Franks, so there's no way that this mission's going to end.
Saladin, where are you going with that great army?
Are we making you nervous, Egyptian Caliph? Oh, hey, it's the pyramids. No, don't destroy them. What are you, crazy? Why does the Great Pyramid have less HP than the... Don't worry about it, Jay Barino. Alright, so let's chase these guys down. So yeah, it's interesting, because again, camel riders seem like, specifically, they're only good for killing knights and other camels. So I just... Or like cavalry archers, right? So I'm not sure... Is this what we're looking for? No. So I'm not really sure, again, like what my main composition strategy is supposed to be with this faction. But I think it's, again, pretty much what I listed. Camel riders eventually into Mamluks. Because that'll help us fight against the Franks specifically, who I suppose is going to be one of our enemies here. Possibly the Teutons. I don't know, we'll see. What am I looking for here? There's a little base here. Let's go ahead and get my other units into position. Throwing axemen? Yeah. Okay, let's go. So yeah, the sort of joke I made earlier, get in there, camel riders, was, yeah, so the Mamluks are essentially like a higher caste of slave. They're slave soldiers. They're mostly like Cumans and Kipchiks, which we saw a little bit of in the Mongolian campaign. And, yeah, eventually, Saladin's dynasty gets overthrown by the Mamluks, and then the Mamluks basically rule Egypt and parts of the Levant. And they actually repelled the Mongols, and that's when they took over. History.
Saladin, I'm afraid I do not trust your motives. Turn back at once.
Okay, so yeah, the Egyptian Caliphate is suspicious of us. Am I supposed to just be killing all this stuff? It just says defeat the West Franks. So I guess we'll kill everything that they have here. And they don't seem like they're building anything. I'm curious again if these Mamluks have like a special damage type or if it's the same as Camel Riders. I don't understand again how the Camel Riders like do mounted units have a different armor type, like a hidden armor value, or is like are there different damage values that I can't see? Right, because again, camels they only do damage versus mounted units. I mean, they do damage to everything, but they do most damage versus knights and minimal damage.
You leave me no choice. I have allied myself with the Franks. We will conspire to keep you out of Cairo.
You dummy. You dummy.
Lord Saladin, the Egyptians are cowardly and weak. If we station troops near their main mosque, they will surely surrender.
Okay, well that's where we're going next. Let's finish up the Western Franks, even though our objective has indeed updated. But yeah, I think I'm understanding that correctly, right? Because Saladin is the Ayyubid dynasty, which eventually falls to the Mongols, and then the Mamluks are one of the few groups that actually successfully fight the Mongols, and then they basically take over there. Okay, so let's cross the bridge. And because we're going to be primarily cavalry focused, yeah, again, I think Hussars.
We have captured the Frankish war vessel.
Oh, cool. All right, well, that's nice. Let's use that to destroy this gate and then the tower. That's going to take a while, isn't it? I'm no historian. I'm just sharing, like, little factoids that I know. I know some stuff about a lot of these campaigns, but not that much. You notice how, like, they're attacking and sometimes they're, like, backing up? I wonder what's happening here. But it's nice to have a mobile army again. Again, maybe we'll rely a bit more on Hussars. And also, well, if we wanted to make knights, which I probably won't, they'll be the normal speed. They won't be slower. So that's a big positive.
Lord Saladin, we have found Frankish armor in the ruins of this platform.
What? Chain barding armor researched? Is that for my cavalry? Or normal infantry, maybe? It's kind of strange. Okay, well, let's have them come out. You go ahead and start hitting this. I don't really want to have to wait for this to happen. Maybe I'll just run by this stuff. We just have to get to their mosque, right? This kind of is similar to the micro unit in the Barbarossa campaign. You will not enter Cairo. Yeah, sure, buddy. Where all we have to do is walk to a certain building, and then they basically switch sides, is what I'm guessing. By switch sides, I mean, like, they surrender. Get up here. I'm just going to avoid the towers, I think. Finish this up. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I just want to focus on their units. Ignore the towers. We're just going to keep running through this building. We're losing stuff left and right, but again, I just kind of want to... I'm just going to make a blitz for it. It revealed itself up here. So I don't really have anything to destroy towers, so I'm just going to avoid that and move on. No. We definitely don't want to be messing around with the castle. Okay, this is mildly irritating. I feel like I went exactly the wrong way throughout all of this. Good amount of Mamluks in here, which counter us directly, considering we ran in here exclusively with mounted units. So that was a mistake. They don't seem like they're rebuilding anything, though. Again, I wonder if I could have just ran by a lot of this stuff. No. Just keep going. We're almost there.
Saladin, the Franks have betrayed us. They mean to invade Cairo. We were wrong not to trust our fellow Saracens. Please, these troops are yours to command. Just defeat the treacherous Franks.
Yeah, who would have thought? What did we get? More camel riders. And we got some archers as well. That's good. Ooh, a monk. Well, let's spend, approximately 2 to 3 years getting healed by our single monk, and we got a siege ram too. That's good stuff. So let's go ahead and move the rest of our units up here. We've got these scorpions. So now we have to destroy the East Franks town center. All right. Again, he's healing us. It's going to take a long time, unfortunately, because we only have one. Having some mounted archers is nice. I wonder if, like, if I wouldn't have killed all these guys along the way, if they would have all joined me? I doubt it. I should have just ran by that other monk. I guess he probably would have ended up converting one of my units, but we could have left him alive, too. Even if he remained allied, he would have kept healing us, right? Well, let's go and start looking around at the very least. And then we can move our units in place, and I don't have to necessarily heal everything. Okay, where does it begin? Where does the base begin? Actually, I really don't want to. I don't want to aggro them into my units. So let's go ahead and move all these guys out of the base. This guy can keep healing me for the time being. One of my Mamluks is still alive. That's good. You guys also move out, and then we'll continue the healing process once we get out here. I could probably use Hussar. Well, they're not Hussars. I can use the light cavalry to scout out ahead because they have a better sight range as well. Again, this composition is actually probably exactly what I'm looking to make more of in the future. Again, when it says archers gain that extra damage versus buildings based on your age, I wonder if... that must include mounted archers as well, right? It has to. Okay, we still have all these men-at-arms. That should be helpful, too. There we go. Watchtower. I wonder if we could just kind of make our way down the left here instead of engaging all the towers, if that makes sense. So maybe we engage that tower. Okay, well, I will say, yeah, the mounted knights are going to do well against us if we're, mostly an anti-cavalry faction. Granted, halberdiers going to do great. I mean, these are just pikemen, but still. They're going to do well against me, one way or another. You go ahead and move up. And then these guys are very slow because they're scorpions. So what I'll do is, like, move this down here and then float it over to the left to start attacking this tower. I'd preferably like to keep it alive as well. I could put men-at-arms inside of it just to make it move a little faster. Get in there, buddy. Ooh, look how speedy it is. Keep healing, buddy. It seems like I'm really close to the end, so I'm not in a super rush. I mean, this could be a disaster, but I guess let's give it a go. I would save, but I honestly am feeling very confident, so I think it'll be fine. Actually, it looks like it has a minimum range, so I don't even need to run in here with these other units, but that's fine. Okay, you all move in. No. Let them come to us. Especially let them come into range of our scorpions. There we go. Alright, scorpions, help us out. That's an onager. I don't know how camel riders... Not great. I don't know how camel riders are going to do versus onagers, but we got to get on top of that and try to avoid it while we can. They stole one of my... Oh, no, they didn't. I thought they stole one of my camel riders, but they did not. You roll in and go ahead and hit the town hall. Again, this ultimately went absolutely fine. That's it. Okay, go ahead and attack that. Scorpions, I guess, get in there too, even though you don't really do good damage versus buildings. As long as the ram's attacking. Cool.
My lord, the Franks have been defeated.
Is that it? It's a little more of the map to uncover, but I think that's going to be it. All right.
The Franks are dispersed, and the Egyptian army broken. Saladin has taken his place as governor of the Nile. Any European king would seize this opportunity to eliminate his political enemies. Saladin, however, allowed any Egyptian opposed to his rule to leave the city unharmed. Saladin has set out to win over the population. In Cairo, he built mosques and palaces, universities and hospitals. My own countrymen, the sons of Europe, showed naught but treachery, while the Saracens worked to dignify their civilization. It is a troubling time, yet I have difficulty sleeping.
Sometimes both sides can be the good and bad guys. All right. So next time we'll come back and play Lord of Arabia. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you then. Bye-bye.